Okay, so imagine this. You're about to interview for an archaeology lecturer position.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
a chance to inspire like the next generation of archaeologists to unearth all these, fascinating secrets of the past, maybe discover something groundbreaking.
Yeah.
They're like prepping for an academic interview
Right.
can feel like navigating an ancient tomb in the dark.
Yeah, definitely.
That's why today we're doing a deep dive into this world of archaeology lecturers.
Yeah, we're going to arm you with all the insights and strategies to, like, not only survive the interview, but truly shine.
We've got a really amazing resource in RoleCatcher. Um, their career guides and their interview prep materials are like a treasure map to landing this role.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, we'll even see how their AI tools can like help you tailor your answers to stand out from the crowd.
Think of us as like your experienced field guides,
Yeah.
helping you navigate this sometimes treacherous terrain of academic interviews.
I love that. Okay, so let's just start by mapping out the territory. Like, what exactly is an archaeology lecturer beyond just like the classroom lectures?
Right. So it's about being a bridge between the past and the present. Translating complex research into engaging lessons and mentoring future archaeologists.
Right.
You'll likely be designing courses, conducting research, and even getting hands-on with artifacts in the field.
Not to mention publishing those findings.
Oh, for sure.
RoleCatcher's career guide highlights how important publications are for career advancement, especially if you're aiming for that coveted tenure track position.
Yes, tenure, the academic equivalent of discovering a lost city.
Right.
Highly sought after, it offers job security and freedom to pursue your research, but it's also incredibly competitive.
Yeah.
RoleCatcher's AI can actually help you strategically highlight those publications and research experience that really align with the specific institution that you're applying to.
So it's like the AI is your personal research assistant.
Exactly.
Sifting through all your experience and flagging like the most impressive artifacts to showcase.
Exactly. And it can even analyze job descriptions to suggest how to frame your answers.
Yeah.
So for example, for an institution that's really focused on public outreach,
Mm-hmm.
the AI might suggest you emphasize your experience presenting research at conferences or leading museum tours.
Okay, so let's shift our focus to the interview itself.
Okay.
What's like the first question you think our listener might encounter?
Almost guaranteed they'll ask about your journey.
Yeah.
What inspired you to pursue a career in archaeology?
Ah, the classic origin story.
Right.
Seems so simple,
Yeah.
but how do you avoid like just a generic response like, oh, I've always loved history?
Don't just tell them you love history. Show them. Remember a specific moment, a discovery, a book, or even a person that sparked your passion.
Yeah.
Did you unearth a Roman coin in your backyard as a kid? Were you captivated by a documentary on Egyptian pyramids?
Oh.
Find that unique spark and share it with genuine enthusiasm.
So it's about conveying that this isn't just a job, it's a deep-seated passion.
Mm-hmm.
And what if they follow up with something like, and how has that early inspiration shaped your approach to archaeology today?
That's where you connect that initial spark to your current work.
Okay.
Maybe that childhood coin sparked a fascination with ancient economies, leading you to specialize in numismatics, or perhaps that documentary ignited a desire to understand the role of religion in ancient societies,
Mm-hmm.
influencing your research on burial practices.
So it's about showing how that initial passion has evolved and matured and led you to this point in your career.
Precisely. Now, another question that often comes up, especially for mid-level positions, is about your teaching philosophy.
Okay.
Imagine they ask, what is your teaching philosophy?
This feels like a high-stakes question where you're not just explaining, but also persuading them that you're the right fit for their institution.
You're absolutely right. So before the interview, I recommend you really do a deep dive into the university's mission and values. What kind of learning environment do they promote?
Right.
Are they focused on research, teaching, community engagement, or a blend of all three?
So if they highlight hands-on learning in their mission, you would want to emphasize your experience leading field schools or incorporating interactive activities into your classes.
Exactly. Tailor your answer to demonstrate that your teaching style aligns with their institutional values.
Mhm.
For example, you could say, I believe in an active learning environment where students are challenged to think critically and engage directly with archaeological materials.
That's a much stronger statement than just saying oh, I like to make my classes fun.
Right.
It shows you've thought deeply about pedagogy and you're aligned with their values.
Exactly.
Now, what if they follow up with something specific like, how do you assess student learning in your classes?
That's where you get to showcase your creativity and flexibility as an educator.
Okay.
Describe your preferred assessment methods like essays, presentations, group projects, or even experimental archaeology activities.
Don't forget about the increasing role of technology in education.
Oh, for sure.
If the institution values digital literacy, you might mention incorporating online discussion forums, virtual reality field trips, or even digital mapping software.
Excellent point. You can even highlight how RoleCatcher's AI helped you identify those key areas of interest within the job description.
Oh, wow.
It's like having a research assistant who's already combed through the university's website and like highlighted all the keywords for you.
I love that. Okay, so speaking of technology, let's address the elephant in the room, or rather the AI in the software.
Right.
How can RoleCatcher's AI specifically help our listener nail their interview answers?
It's more than just identifying keywords. RoleCatcher's AI can analyze your practice answers, offering feedback on clarity, conciseness, and relevance to the specific job requirements.
So it's like having a personal interview coach who understands the nuances of academic language and expectations.
Exactly.
But can it help with those tougher, more like conceptual questions? Let's say they ask, how do you stay current with the latest developments in archaeology?
Absolutely. It can highlight relevant research areas mentioned in the job description, even suggesting specific journals or conferences you could mention.
Okay.
But beyond just name dropping, you need to demonstrate how you actively engage with new research.
So instead of just listing journals, you could say, I recently attended the Society for American Archaeology conference, where I was particularly interested in a presentation on the use of LiDAR technology to uncover ancient Maya settlements.
That's a perfect example. You're showing you're not just passively reading, you're actively participating in the intellectual discourse of the field.
I like that.
Now, building on that, what if they then ask, how do you incorporate those new developments into your teaching?
Ooh, good one.
Right.
It's not enough to just stay informed. You need to show you can translate that knowledge into engaging lessons.
Exactly. This is where you highlight specific examples of how you've updated your syllabi, incorporated new research findings into your lectures, or even designed student projects around emerging technologies.
For instance, you could say, inspired by that LiDAR presentation, I'm currently developing a new module for my introductory course, where students will use open source software to analyze 3D models of archaeological sites.
Brilliant. You're showcasing your ability to connect cutting-edge research with real-world teaching applications.
Wow.
And remember, RoleCatcher's AI can help you find and articulate those connections by analyzing both your experience and the job description.
It's like having a personal research team working behind the scenes to help you craft the most compelling and relevant answers.
Precisely. And speaking of compelling answers, another question that often throws people off is, how do you integrate technology into your teaching?
Ah, yes. Technology in the classroom is a topic that's constantly evolving.
Right.
It's not enough to just list software programs. You need to demonstrate a thoughtful approach to integrating technology in a way that actually enhances learning.
You're absolutely right. So instead of simply saying, I use PowerPoint, explain how you use it. Do you incorporate multimedia elements to bring lectures to life? Do you use interactive polling software to gauge student understanding?
Maybe you even use virtual reality to create immersive experiences of ancient sites, or 3D modeling software to reconstruct artifacts.
Those are great examples.
Yeah.
The key is to showcase how technology supports your teaching goals and enhances the learning experience for your students.
Now, another question that often comes up, particularly in today's diverse academic landscape, is about inclusivity. Imagine they ask, how do you ensure that your teaching is inclusive and caters to diverse learners?
This is a crucial question, and it requires more than just like a surface-level response. It's about demonstrating a genuine commitment to creating an equitable and welcoming learning environment for all students.
So how do you move beyond generic statements like, I respect all students?
Provide concrete examples of how you've incorporated inclusive practices into your teaching.
Yeah, good.
Perhaps you use a variety of teaching methods to accommodate different learning styles. Maybe you offer flexible deadlines to support students with diverse needs.
You could also talk about how you incorporate diverse perspectives into your curriculum, ensuring that the voices and experiences of marginalized groups are represented.
Excellent point. And don't be afraid to acknowledge that you're still learning and growing in this area.
Right.
Share your commitment to ongoing professional development related to inclusive teaching practices.
This shows that you're not just paying lip service to diversity, but that you're actively striving to create a more equitable and welcoming classroom for all.
Exactly. And remember, RoleCatcher's AI can be a valuable resource here too. It can analyze the specific language used in the job description to help you tailor your answers to resonate with the institution's commitment to diversity and inclusion.
It's like having a personal sensitivity reader, ensuring your responses align with the values and expectations of the institution.
Exactly.
Now, I know we have a few more questions to uncover, but before we move on to those,
Hold on, I want to circle back to that earlier question about staying current with developments in archaeology. There's another crucial element to highlight. It's not just about attending conferences or reading journals.
right.
It's about translating that knowledge into tangible contributions to the field.
Mm.
Interviewers, especially for senior roles, are going to be really keen to see your impact.
So it's less about keeping up and more about pushing the field forward.
Exactly. Have you published in peer-reviewed journals, presented at conferences, secured grants for your research?
Right.
These are the artifacts that demonstrate your active role in shaping the field.
And I imagine RoleCatcher's AI can be incredibly helpful here. It can analyze the institution's research focus, identify potential collaborators, and even suggest journals that align with their areas of expertise.
Absolutely. It's like having a personalized research strategist in your corner.
I love that.
Yeah.
Now imagine they follow up with something like, tell us about a research project you're particularly proud of and why.
Okay.
This is where you get to showcase your expertise and passion.
Right.
But with limited time, how do you choose the right project to highlight?
I think you want to focus on a project that aligns with the institution's research interests or demonstrates skills that are relevant to the role.
Okay.
Did you lead a large-scale excavation? Develop a new dating technique? Analyze a unique artifact collection? Choose something that really showcases your strengths.
And don't just describe the project, explain why you're proud of it.
Yes.
Did it challenge existing theories?
Right.
Did it lead to new discoveries? Did it involve collaboration with other researchers or community members?
Those are excellent points. You want to highlight not just the what, but the so what of your research. Demonstrate the impact and significance of your work.
I like that a lot. Great. Now let's shift gears a bit. One question that often comes up, especially for mid-level positions, is how do you measure student success in your classes?
This is where you demonstrate your understanding of assessment and your commitment to student learning. It's not just about grades. It's about helping students achieve their learning goals.
So beyond just exams and essays, what are some other ways to measure student success?
Think about the skills and knowledge you want students to develop.
Okay.
Are you focused on critical thinking research skills, presentation abilities, or perhaps hands-on experience with archaeological methods?
You might mention incorporating diverse assessment methods like presentations, debates, digital projects, or even field reports based on hands-on activities.
Those are great examples. And remember to tie your assessment methods back to the learning objectives of your course.
Right.
Show that you've carefully considered how to evaluate student learning in a meaningful and comprehensive way.
It's about demonstrating that you're not just throwing out random assignments. You're strategically assessing student learning to ensure they're meeting the course goals.
Precisely. And speaking of meeting goals, one question that can be tricky to navigate, especially for those who are new to teaching, is how do you engage students who may not be interested in archaeology?
Ah, yes. The challenge of sparking curiosity in those who might initially view archaeology as just dusty artifacts and ancient ruins.
Right. The key is to make it relevant to their lives. Instead of lecturing about pottery shards, connect those shards to broader themes like trade technology or social change.
Perhaps you could tie ancient agricultural practices to contemporary sustainability issues, or explore how understanding past climate change can inform our actions today.
Those are fantastic examples. You can also use storytelling to bring the past to life. Share anecdotes about fascinating discoveries or captivating tales of ancient cultures.
And don't underestimate the power of hands-on activities.
Yes.
Incorporating labs where students can analyze artifacts, experiment with ancient technologies, or even create 3D models of archaeological sites can make a huge difference in sparking their interest.
Exactly. You want to create an active learning environment where students feel like they're participating in the process of discovery, not just passively absorbing information.
Now let's turn our attention to a question that's becoming increasingly relevant in today's digital age. What is your experience teaching online courses?
This is where you showcase your adaptability and your understanding of the unique challenges and opportunities of online learning.
So it's not enough to simply say, I'm comfortable with Zoom.
Right.
You need to demonstrate a deeper understanding of online pedagogy.
You're absolutely right. Talk about specific strategies you've used to create an engaging and interactive online learning environment. Perhaps you incorporate synchronous video conferences to facilitate discussions, asynchronous discussion forums to foster community building, or interactive multimedia elements to enhance content delivery.
You might also mention your experience with various learning management systems video conferencing platforms, and other online teaching tools.
Excellent point. And don't forget to highlight the importance of accessibility.
Right.
Have you considered how to make your online courses accessible to students with disabilities?
This shows that you're committed to creating an inclusive and equitable learning environment, both online and in person.
Exactly.
Now, I know we have one more question to address before we move on.
Actually, there's one more point I want to emphasize about online teaching.
Okay, lay it on us.
It's not enough to simply transfer your in-person teaching style to an online format. You need to think carefully about how to adapt your content and your teaching methods to suit the online environment.
So instead of simply recording your lectures and posting them online, you need to think about how to break down the content into smaller, more digestible chunks, how to incorporate interactive elements to keep students engaged, and how to foster a sense of community among online learners.
Precisely. And don't be afraid to experiment with new technologies and approaches. The world of online learning is constantly evolving, so it's important to stay curious and be willing to adapt.
Now, I know we've covered a lot of ground here, but there's one final question that often arises in academic interviews, and it can be a bit daunting.
I think I know which one you're referring to.
You got it. The question of career aspirations and long-term goals. Imagine they ask, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah, it's that all-important question of fit.
Right? Like, how do you determine if this specific institution, this particular department, is the right archaeological dig site for you?
Yeah, it's easy to get so caught up in the excitement of the interview and forget that it's a two-way street. You're not just trying to impress them, you're also trying to determine if this is an environment where you could actually thrive.
So it's less about proving yourself and more about a mutual discovery process.
Exactly. And RoleCatcher's Career Guide really emphasizes the importance of researching the department's culture, their research focus, and even their teaching load expectations.
It's like excavating for clues about their values and priorities.
Yeah.
Are they focused on cutting-edge research, community engagement, student mentorship?
Those are all excellent points to consider, and don't be afraid to ask questions during the interview.
Right.
It shows that you're genuinely interested and that you're taking the time to assess the fit.
So instead of just passively answering questions, our listeners should come prepared with their own inquiries.
Absolutely. You could ask about opportunities for collaboration, professional development resources, or even the department's approach to mentoring junior faculty.
For example, you could ask, what kind of support does the department offer for junior faculty to develop their research programs? Or what opportunities are there for interdisciplinary collaboration?
Those are great examples. Asking thoughtful questions demonstrates your engagement and your commitment to finding the right fit.
It also shows that you're not just looking for any job. You're looking for an environment where you can really grow and flourish as an archaeologist and an educator.
Exactly. Remember, this interview is an opportunity for both you and the institution to determine if you're a good match.
And as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of archaeology lecturer interviews, I want to leave our listener with a final thought. We've talked about skills, research teaching, and even these AI-powered tools. But ultimately, I think the most compelling factor in any interview is your passion.
Oh, that's so true. Passion is contagious. It shines through in your answers, your energy, your enthusiasm.
So as you prepare for this interview, remember to tap into that deep-seated passion that drew you to archaeology in the first place. Let that passion guide your preparation, fuel your responses, and inspire you to showcase your unique talents and contributions to the field.
You got it.
Remember, you're not just applying for a job. You're embarking on a journey of discovery, both for yourself and for the future generations of archaeologists you'll inspire.
And with the insights and tools we've explored today, we're confident you'll unearth success in your interview and beyond.
So go out there, rock that interview, and get ready to dig into an amazing career.
Happy excavating career.